And welcome back to the Beyond Respect and another edition of AEW Collision and Rampage tagged on the end of it out of 10. It's getting to feel like Rampage being back on Friday will be strange when it happens because we've had so many weeks of it combined with one of the other two shows that AEW puts on. But yeah, it's a stacked lineup, and we start things off with a big match with Will Ospreay taking on Shane Taylor, and they were ready to fight when the Undisputed Kingdom came out to watch the action up close. The aerial assassin exploded out of the corner with a running dropkick as soon as the bell rang. He stayed on Taylor with a few high-flying moves, but one big hit from Powerhouse put him on the mat. Matt Taven, Mike Bennett and Anthony Ogogo all got involved as all were able to struggle to keep the match under control. Taylor dominated during the break, but Ospreay began building momentum as we returned. Taylor is one of those big guys who has surprising speed and agility, but his power and striking ability are his biggest assets. He played a great hurdle for Ospreay to overcome on his way to get the international title shot, but it would be nice to see him start accumulating wins, I have to say. The aerial assassin showed off his strength and got a springboard neckbreaker for the win. He took out the Undisputed Kingdom celebrating. So you obviously had a fun match and built up to that segment. So yeah, I thought it was good. 7 out of 10. Before it's time for Johnny TV against Hook. Johnny TV may be a veteran, but he was the underdog this week because Hook has been more focused since losing the FTW title. Taya Valkyrie was at ringside to support her husband and provided the occasional distraction, but it was never going to be enough. Hook's win-loss record is still one of the best in AEW, so nobody expects him to lose this random match against Johnny TV while in the midst of a feud with Jericho. This wasn't a very long bout, but it was as long as it needed to be. It was competitive enough to keep Johnny from looking like a jobber while allowing Hook to pick up another W. It may not be memorable, but it definitely served its purpose. So yeah, on the whole, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, let's say. Yeah, I thought it was decent without being really groundbreakingly or shockingly good. Before it's time for Rocky Romero against Shibata, and yeah, they came up for this match as soon as Hook was gone. They shook hands as a sign of respect before locking up. It was an interesting matchup because both these men are highly decorated veterans who have worked together several times in New Japan, but it's been over 8 years since they last faced off. Unsurprisingly, the two lauded performers put on a tough fight for this FTW qualifying bout. Shibata picked up a submission victory to qualify for the number one contenders match next week. Romero wished him luck in his quest and shook his hands to end the match on good terms, and I thought, yeah, sometimes this is what we need, just a babyface on babyface, a really nice fight, and the match that definitely delivered. For me, the right winner and a very good match too. 7 out of 10. We then saw Brian Keefe in action against Boulder, and yeah, the Bounty Hunter and Boulder competed for the third spot in the FTW number one contenders match, but it was almost over before it got started. Boulder attacked Keefe after the bell, but the Bounty Hunter ended up winning in just a couple of minutes. This was short and uneventful, but it made King look good, so he got to beat the odds so decisively. So yeah, gets 6 out of 10. I guess it's just about putting Keefe over. I can't see him being the man to challenge Jericho, so yeah, a good dominant win for him like this could do wonders for him. So yeah, on the whole, it was pretty solid and gets a 6 out of 10. Before it's time for Orange Cassidy against Isaiah Cassidy. Cassidy and Cassidy Bom Bom came out for the next match after the Bang Bang Gang attacked back and left him down the stage. Sadly, they were not competing to see who was going to keep their last name in a ladder match. Both of these men are used to being in the smaller man in the ring, so they took full advantage of having an opponent who was equally matched. They worked at a brisk pace, but still took time to sell some big moves moments. Trent Barretta showed up in the crowd and distracted OC so Cassidy could take full control. It was a fun sprint that paired up two guys who have been in AEW for a long time together without crossing paths too often. And Jake gets 7 out of 10 for me. I thought it was a decent match. Cassidy was always like to get the win and did, but I think it's still a fun match. And yeah, like I say, it's kind of nice to see these two kind of fighting each other on an equal basis. Before it was time for Serena Deeb versus Anna Jay. Deeb was out after the break to take on Jay. Both of these women have been a bit on a winning streak recently, but there was no doubt who would win it before it was even started. The Professor took control immediately and almost won right away, but the former Dark Order member wasn't going down without a fight. Anyone who's been paying attention knows Deeb is one of the best technicians in the world, so seeing Jay hold her own and put on a good performance is a big indicator of how much she has improved over the past year. This ended up being longer than expected, which allowed them to exceed expectations. Luther showed up and stole Deeb's flag, but it didn't matter as Deeb put her in the Serenity Lock. Tony Storm came out and stripped down behind the flag as Moran May and Luther held up. Deeb chased them away to win the segment. Yeah, an interesting end to the segment. Quite a simple win for Deeb, and we got that post match. I was a bit confused by it, but I didn't think it was bad, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Before it's time for Jack Cartwheel, love the surname, against Nick Wayne. We got a promo package about Wayne before he came to the ring. Wayne rushed him and got and hit a kick to the face to get things started, but Cartwheel lived up to his name by having a full roll surrender attacks. The 18-year-old avoided the mean and Cartwheel crashed and burned. Even though he had it won, Wayne decided to send a message by using Swerve's finisher to get the pin. And yeah, this gets a 5 out of 10 for me. I mean, it was alright, but to be honest, it just kind of felt a bit in there without much build or anything really. I guess it's to try and build Wayne up, but yeah, it didn't really click for me. Before it's time for our main event, Bryan Danielson and FTR taking on Lance Archer and the Righteous. Danielson teamed up with FTR, of course, for the first time in a while. That's good to see. It's kind of an odd choice to put this in this spot. The outcome was devious, even though Danielson and FTR are part of the same storyline right now. There's no feud with Archer and the Righteous. There was booked to give the babyfaces victory to show they can work together before they compete in the Anarchy in the arena. This was frenetic and as physical as you would expect with the 6 men involved. FTR got the win with the Shatter Machine on Vincent to win an enjoyable show bout. The losers took out their frustration on the winners with a post-match attack. And yeah, on the whole, it gets to the 7 out of 10 for me. I thought, it was quite a fun match. And yeah, I thought pretty decent on the whole. I guess it got to the point of Danielson and FTR working together. So, I'm not massive against it. 7 out of 10. It was then time for Kyle O'Reilly to take on Lee Moriarty in the first match from the Rampage portion of the show. Anthony Ogogo was at ringside, but Taylor was still recovering from his match. These are 2 hard-hitting submissions, but KOR came within several years more experience to give him a bit of an advantage. They worked slow and methodically in the first several minutes so they could build up momentum over time. This was a clinic that made both men look tough, but KR was the victor with an armbar submission. Like I say, a really good technical match, and I think one that benefited both men. And good to see O'Reilly get the win. He's starting to build that momentum after a few big losses recently. Rushnu was then in action against local competitors. We know what happened. He kept attacking his opponents after over. It's just to have some fun. Before the Virtuosa was in action as she was in a match against Robin from the Renegade Twins. It was another match that was very predictable, and the crowd beginning to show signs of being tired. It felt quieter in the arena. They had plenty of time to win it, but something was missing. It never felt like they got out of second gears. Sernder also saved Robin from a post-match beating. And yeah, to be honest, it just kind of felt 2 very similar matches on the trot, which wasn't that good, to be honest. Before it's time for Anthony Bowens against Brian Cage in the main event, and 2 men who know more for their trios and tag balance actions in AEW. KUH may be one of the most powerful men in AEW, but Bowens is no doubt. These 2 wasted no time going from 0 to 60. They just had over 10 minutes to work, so they were trying to pack in as much as possible. It's somewhat surprising outcome. The Machine ended up scoring a win to end the show. This was a solid performance, and hopefully AEW has a plan for Cage now that he's no longer in Swerve's shadow, and hopefully he can start to build up some momentum. But I thought it was an okay match. For me, I actually was kind of pleased with the result. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Overall, AEW Collision gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought, it was another really enjoyable 3-hour box and good technical wrestling on both matches, especially Kyle O'Reilly, Moriarty. The last match on Collision, as well as several other matches on the show, were really quite strong as well. So I would say on the whole, a pretty enjoyable episode of Collision. So gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.